Alright, I'm kinda sorta definitely cheating this week because I'm only scratching the surface of the episode's subject in terms of comics and then diving into a completely different medium. But hey, upside of it being my channel, I can do whatever I want. Also, spoilers for Deadpool and Wolverine, and also X-Men 97, I guess. So without further ado, in 3, 2, 1, let's talk about Gambit. The X-Men's very own Raging Cajun and former member of the Thieves Guild has proven a popular mainstay of mutant kind since his debut in the 90s, with the ability to charge objects with kinetic energy and turn them into explosives. Like many superheroes, he's iconic enough that even death can't stop him, as despite his apparent demise in X-Men 97, the season finale implies that he'll be making his return. As Death, ironically enough, one of the 4 Horsemen of Apocalypse. This also happened in the comics, minus the dying part. It was actually an intentional attempt to infiltrate Apocalypse's rank and file, but not important. But for all Gambit's popularity, it might surprise you to learn that his appearances in the movies, despite roughly 2 decades of Fox cranking Marvel projects out, have been far and few between. But not, as we'll soon get into, for lack of trying. Gambit was originally meant to debut in live action as early as 2003's X2. Hugh Jackman's stunt double James Bamford, was cast in the role and the cameo was actually filmed, but ultimately cut. He was then considered for a debut in 2006's X-Men The Last Stand, first as a new student to Xavier's school and part of a love triangle with Rogue and Iceman, then as a new recruit for Magneto's Brotherhood of Mutants. Keanu Reeves and Josh Holloway were considered for the part, and Channing Tatum auditioned and was planned to be cast. Hold on to that name for later. But the character was left out of the film entirely because it was thought that it was too crowded already to do such a fan-favorite character justice. Gambit finally made his film debut in 2009's X-Men Origins Wolverine, but Tatum was unable to re-accept the role due to filming G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra, so Taylor Kitsch was cast instead. Even at the time, there were talks of Gambit spinning off into a film of his own, but the poor reception to Origins Wolverine seemed to cool any further talks. At least until 2014, when producer Lauren Shuler-Donner announced that a Gambit movie was indeed being planned, and Channing Tatum was set to star. Rupert Wyatt of Rise of Planet of the Apes fame was hired to direct mid-2015, and the film was set for an October 2016 release date, and this is where it all started to go wrong. Fox seemingly couldn't make up their minds what they wanted the movie to be or how much they wanted to spend on it, with releases like the 2015 Fantastic Four not helping their confidence at all, and by September, Rupert Wyatt was out, although Fox held on to their initial release date until February 2016. Doug Liman, director of The Bourne Identity and Mr. and Mrs. Smith, was in talks to replace Wyatt as the director, but he eventually declined as well due to not being happy with the script, and instead decided to direct DC's Dark Universe movie. That also went nowhere. Look, movies are hard, and sometimes it's helpful to remember that as bad as movies like Madam Web or Fantastic Four 2015 for that matter can get, there's tons of superhero movies, and movies in general, that just never get made, so even getting that far is an accomplishment. Tatum remained attached to star the whole time, and finally, in October 2017, Gore Verbinski, who directed Mouse Hunt, Rango, and the first 3 Pirates of the Caribbean films, was hired as director, and the film had a new February 2019 release date. But by January 2018, the familiar issues of scheduling conflicts and creative differences had reared their ugly heads again, and Verbinski was out. Determined to keep the movie happening, Fox kept meeting with directors, revamping the script, and pushing the release date further and further back, up until Disney acquired them in early 2019. At that point, there was little interest in continuing the Fox X-Men movies, and Gambit, along with a host of other projects, was cancelled altogether, meaning that despite his obvious passion for the character, Channing Tatum would never get the chance to portray Remy LeBeau on the big screen. At least until now! Next week, oh man, Agatha Harkness and the Penguin both have shows coming out soon, don't they? I should probably get on that.